have to teach you, so. All right, so invocation, I got Council Roberts. Pledge, Brett. Approval, waiving of the reading and approval as written of the minutes. Is anyone wanting to offer that tonight?
I will,
Okay, Robbie can.
because
I made those
I've been involved.
You can check them, make sure.
That's fine. Clentisha is not here tonight. Who would like to offer the payment of the bills?
I can do that.
All right. All right, then on enhancements, I'm going to mention the farmer's market, the centennial celebration, the First Baptist Daycare 50th anniversary, as well as their back-to-school bash, which will run at the same time as the centennial celebration. Part of it will, anyway. Glenda, if you want to speak to movies in the park this week and trade days, okay?
Okay,
All right. All right, then under planning and zoning, we have a public hearing regarding the zoning classification of 6984 and 6985 Joyce Circle. And later to have an ordinance changing the zoning, and again, it's just, changing an annexed property to the correct zoning. Then we have a public hearing on a nuisance, overgrown grass at 4109 Powell. This will be the second time this year we've dealt with this property.
Does that have a residence on it, or is it just
There's
blank land?
nobody living there right now. It's a house.
Oh,
Yeah. Nobody
But
is
it's not
occupying it at the moment. All right, so then we'll go down for the ordinance, changing the zoning classification of 6984 and 6985. Who would like to offer that ordinance?
I'll offer that too.
Okay.
Hope
Then-
they're able to get that together.
Then we have an ordinance amending 2020-21 and basically giving them an extension. And that is the property across from the high school where they're supposed to build a,
Oh, that's actually the one I
Retirement
thought I was,
village.
one I was thought I was volunteering for. But,
yeah, and so.
but I can do either one.
Yeah, so the bottom line is somebody offered that, we're just giving them an extension of the timeline.
Does somebody else want the Joy Circle?
Well, I've already written you down.
Oh, well, sorry, I'm in ink. You got it.
So you want that one as well?
I don't want to be a hog, but if anybody else will get their name in the paper.
Well, I've already written your name down, you got
Okay,
it.
so I'll do both? Okay.
And then we have the resolution regarding the public nuisance and overgrown grass at 4109 Powell. Who would like to offer that? Okay. All right. Then I'll give a report, letting everybody know that we'll have our bid openings tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I believe,
Yes.
on the truck. So far, we've only received the one bid. Then our second tranche of money has hit the bank, and it's $844,868.99. And we're also having a shred-a-thon on Saturday at the same time that the trade days is going on, and want the public to know that so they can bring any items they want to have shredded. Then under new business, I want to increase the pay for the Pilates classes. She's been very successful at that. I'd like to take her from $25 a session to $50. I think it's appropriate if you guys don't have a problem with that. And like I say, she's been hosting 20 to 25 people per class, so she's doing very well.
That was what I was gonna ask you was, is there attendance is increased, so this would be proportionate to that?
It is, yeah. And then, we're also doing the, what's the other classes we're offering?
It's Zumba.
Zumba, which is a different instructor, and it brings her basically in line with the pay of the Zumba classes, so, which is appropriate.
What is her schedule like? Well,
Saturday mornings, is it 10?
I think so.
10 o'clock on Saturday morning, and then 6 o'clock on Monday and Wednesday nights.
all right, there's a bunch of cars out there tonight. Is there something else?
No. You might have historical people over there doing stuff. They've been over there a lot, getting prepared for the upcoming event.
Actually, there is a Zumba class tonight.
There is a Zumba class tonight. There is a Zumba class tonight.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
library's open later on Thursdays too.
Yeah.
It's a happening place over there.
So is anyone want to offer that increase in pay?
I'll offer that.
Well,
I would if somebody didn't, since I was already overloading.
it's okay. And then we have a discussion concerning the PHCC wanting to turn everything over to us. Basically, August 31st being their last day, and then we would take it over after that. So we'll just talk about it. Shane will be here to give us updates on things, Q&A with him on anything. We'll manage it as best we can for now.
So we'll be talking to him during the meeting?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
absolutely.
I don't know what we're about, but we'll,
I know they have scheduled events through the end of the year. We have their calendar, and we've put it onto our calendar. But there'll be we're gonna have to end up coming up with rental service agreements that we feel good about. Theirs is a little bit wonky compared to the way we do it.
Okay.
We may revamp ours a little bit in the process, but I would say stick with what they've got till we get to the end of the year, and that give us time to develop what we wanna do there.
so this is their,
Yeah, this is what they
this is
do.
just for reference.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Like, you know, if you use this, if you use that, this much for this room, extra rooms and all kind of stuff. I might look for a little bit more of a flat rate fee, because let's face it, if they're having a pageant there, you couldn't very well have anything else in the building anyway,
True.
to be honest. So my view of it is, whatever rooms that you need at your disposal would be at your disposal. They do it, like I say, they do it a little bit different, and that's okay.
So we can bring this in line a little more similar to what you got over at Bicentennial
Bicentennial and Rock School.
then. Okay.
Well, like I say, I want to
There he is
honor,
now.
want to kind of honor what they already have in stone to the end of the year in the way they had it, not change anything on anybody. If that makes sense. Well, Shane's here now. He might be able to answer some questions if you have them.
They might not care for us changing the fee structure in the middle of their activities, but.
Yeah, and I talked to one of the organizations the other day about one thing I would want to change, and they said, yeah, that's fine. It's a setting up of the room and the tearing down of the room. I said, that, my view is that should be you. We don't really have somebody to do that. What's going on, Mr. Black?
Hello, how are y'all?
We're good. We've just gotten kind of to the end of our agenda. So I've left it open if anybody on council has any questions for you, or if there's anything you want to enlighten us on when it comes to taking over the PHCC, September 1, things like that. You know, we have talked to one of the organizations that has their pageants there. We know there's some birthday parties scheduled, so we're gonna honor all that they already have scheduled through the end of the year.
I talked with Marie earlier today about that, and one thing that I would recommend that you take up, you don't have to take it up tonight, is in light of this action that they've taken, that you may remember last year, y'all adopted an ordinance that authorized the mayor to do short-term rentals at the Rock School Center. You might take that same ordinance and just do that with respect to PHCC. It would authorize the mayor to enter into short-term rentals, so these folks, whoever they are with the pageants and whatnot, I think Marie said that there were not too many of them, but there are several of them for the remainder of the year. That way he would be authorized to go ahead and just enter into what agreements, just like you already do with respect to Rock School Complex. And so I drafted that up as an ordinance and provided it to Marie so you guys could have to consider at the next meeting. I mean, no need to do it right now. As I understand it, this doesn't go into effect till September 1.
That's right.
And then we begin to work on the type of rental form agreement for short-term rentals up there at that facility, and we base that largely on, although this facility is a little different, there'll be some unique wrinkles to it, but otherwise it'd be based on sort of the same kind of rental agreement you have in place with respect to the Rock School Complex.
And we have particular agreements in place through an ADA compliance document that tells us how to treat the facility. The only change with that, in my opinion, is the entrance, where we were bound to have to hold open the entrance at the gymnasium. Now we have modified the other entrance to make it ADA compliant. So I don't see where that's applicable.
Yeah, that's
So
a
if a,
real plus for the facility.
yeah,
now
so
you've-
if somebody came in and said, we want to rent the facility and I want to have this door as an exit only and enter in this door, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah,
Before,
no,
I did see the problem.
Before, you only had one.
That's right.
Entrance that was capable of that. But my
Compliant.
understanding is the work that has gone into it by the city on the other entrances made the other entrance compatible. Now you got two entrances that would be, that's great.
Yeah, we
But
tore
yeah,
out
so either-
everything,
either
everything
or.
that was existing on that end. We tore it out and started over with an eye on make it correct, make it better than it has to be, because that's what you should do.
Yeah, that's great. That's
And
great.
it's got a-
But yeah, it does give you two different entrances. You know.
Yeah, it's got a large landing, it's got the right incline, it's got the appropriate kind of handrails, it's got everything it should have.
Right.
And as you can see, that's without the rails, but
That's before the rails, right?
yeah, the rails are up now, and like I say, it's wider than it's required. And my goal was to make it user-friendly and better than it had to be. I
Yeah,
mean,
at the time, years ago, when the entrances were looked at and the ADA and the disability stuff was before the council, you had the other entrance, and at the time, the city opted to use that one. And I think the long-term goal was to, as you went forward, to make other things
Right.
compatible. So, yeah, that's great.
We've actually improved the other entrance as well. We completely redid that ramp with concrete, made it much, much better than it was. And
No
again,
lips now, right?
Hmm?
No lip problem.
yeah, there's no lip problem. I mean, you're not gonna fall off of it. It's a gradual incline from all directions. It's the way it should be. We had certain things that we had to do at the park. We knew that. And while we were doing those things, we felt like, go ahead and improve some other situations that need improvement.
That's great.
We weren't required to, but I felt like it was the right thing to do. Council agreed, and that's what we did.
Sure.
But yeah, that's helpful. And Eric showing photos of,
Yeah, that splash pad looked very refreshing.
we're trying to get it back to a refreshing moment. We got a couple of pumps down over there right now. We've been closed for the majority of this week, because pumps went down on us Monday or Sunday? Sunday, the pumps went down. And, got those being rewound and reworked and trying to get it
Winding
back
again?
up. Yeah. Well, we had a backup pump. Unfortunately, that one never got wound. We didn't know that. So now we're take both pumps down there to be wound, and then we'll have an actual backup that works.
Do you store the backup one in another room?
No, they're in the same, we really don't, we're.
Is it mounted, or you have to physically?
You have to mount it. You have to put it
Well,
on.
the only reason I asked that question was, that is a
We.
caustic environment over there.
Well, I
It's a
changed
lot
all
better.
that. Yeah.
It is better.
Oh, yeah, it got fixed.
I changed all that. There's no more open containers. It's all
The
sealed.
ventilation's well enough.
Ventilation was fine. It was that it had open containers, and we changed all that. But it stays in barrels, sealed barrels, the tubes. The only thing is, it's nothing like it was. Now,
No,
I can't fix the damage that was done prior.
Right.
You
but,
can walk in that room now, and there's nothing overwhelming.
You don't need a respirator?
No.
No.
So they got fixed
Not except for the-
last year. Eric took care of that.
Yeah, actually, the year before that, I think it was. But the pump situation, that was an issue, and we have a lot of surges in Pinson, a lot of blanks, and apparently that must have got this last one too. And I didn't know the other one wasn't rewound, or I would have already had it done, because they're quite expensive. The pumps are. We have a pump or a motor for the features that we've already purchased. I already had it rewound. We've got one that's ready to go.
That's a $10,000 pump.
That's a $10,000 pump. The other ones are $5,000, so that's why we kind of try to take care of them. But the other kicker was that the autofill that keeps the tank full. We got about a 10,000 gallon tank there, right? It has a valve that turns the water on and off. Well, it went bad, and didn't know it. And it was just continuing, wouldn't shut the water off. So it was just overrunning. And thanks to Jim Barnett and me walking him through, and he was a bit nervous, because he didn't, and that was fine, but he shut the water off because he said it just was filling up the overflow cesspool down there, the little rip-rap area we have. And I'm like, oh man, I'm glad thank goodness you were there, because that could have been a little costly little adventure there, with a 2-inch line. But anyway, we're waiting on that. That had to come from Pensacola. That's only people that use it are golf courses, this particular valve. So I got 2 as a replacement. I'll have 2 that they were supposed to have been here yesterday. I don't know what to tell you about the, supply chain now, but, the pump is ready. I can pick it up in the morning. One of them is. The other one, he's waiting on a seal, which is fine. But that fill valve, we still couldn't run until we had because you can't, you do fill it up and it doesn't use a lot of water, but it does use water because of evaporation and et cetera, but, I don't want to burn another pump up. While I'm standing here, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, Marie asked me, and I've included, Leah added it all to your packets and sent you emails about the phone system. In order for you to get voicemails or somebody to contact you, first they have to call here, and then it's referred to your line, because you don't have a direct line. Council doesn't have a direct line at their unit, at their offices, but you have to log onto the portal. It gives you detailed information on how to do that. If you need help, either one of the young ladies up front are very well versed in it now. It's not very difficult, but you have to go on the internet, start your portal, and
Then you
that's
get the voicemail on your phone.
right, and get an
through your
email
email.
too. So you can get it forwarded. So, but we don't get a lot of phone calls, that are referred to you guys. But if you want to know how to do it, that's how you do it.
I'm not gonna tell you why, but there are rumors why. I'm not saying.
But anyway, but I'll be glad to show you.
With this system, that it certainly will be a lot easier for the.
Oh yeah,
staff.
it is a lot easier.
So is this the username and stuff? She'll tell us what we need to have for all that.
The username is you, R. Roberts at thecityofpenson.com.
Oh, so it's the regular?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yep.
That's where we'll email your voicemails to. You can
Right.
pick them up on the handset or.
And so we use the same password that we use on our email addresses, or is this a special password?
Usually
Well,
it's what
for
you
this,
log
it-
into your computer, but yeah, you can
Yeah,
set
this,
it up.
you have to go in and set this up.
Right. It'll ask you, it's gonna let you fill
It
in the
should let
blanks.
you choose your password.
It will,
First time we
four-digit
get the
code
question,
kind of
yeah.
thing,
Okay,
so,
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, the first time you log into it, it should let you set your password.
Right, it will.
Yeah.
It's pretty self-explanatory, and if you have any issues, again, just feel free to, call me, or either one of the ladies up front, and Marie and Heather as well, too, know how to do it.
Don't call me.
We're still learning some of the nuances, no, but.
Mine works.
She said ladies, so you're good. He didn't say call the guys. We were confused.
Yeah, well,
Yours works?
yeah, mine works
Did
very
they
well.
set yours up for you, or you actually know more than
No, I
anybody
set it
else?
up. I went through it and set
Okay.
it up. But it is
So
very
did you have to have a
convenient.
password?
Yeah, I have to set all that up as you go.
Okay, all right.
But-
This picture right here doesn't show new login. That's why I was like, okay.
Like I say, you can come here, they can take you through it here to help you get it all set up. But it's a really good system. Like I say, I can get a voicemail. If I'm on vacation, I'll get a voicemail that somebody left me and I can respond to it, which is very convenient. Voicemail is not our number one thing. We always want a person to answer the phone during business hours, but, if you're not at your desk, it's better than just a ring, just continue to ring. And if you're down here after 4 o'clock now, the phones just don't ring off the hook.
Yeah,
Because if you're down here working after 4 o'clock, people will call, and it'll ring 40 times before they'll hang up, realizing no one's going to answer because we're not in business hours.
it'll also, if they call your extension and you have it set up, it'll forward it to your cell phone. So you'll get a call, if you get a call at your desk, if I'm not at my desk, it sends it right to my cell phone. And you can set the hours, parameters, whatever you want for it to forward to you, go to voicemail, so.
You can do that.
So
Does.
we can do that too, or?
Yeah,
Oh,
yes, sir,
okay.
yes, sir. Yeah, you can too.
Yeah,
And
you
if
can
we
just
don't
have
take
yours
the
set
call,
up to
then we're gonna
permanently forward to your
Yep,
phone if you
Okay.
want to,
Yeah.
and you'll always get the call when it comes in.
yep.
Not sure some of these calls you necessarily want to get live in the moment.
Does caller ID pass also?
Caller ID is there,
Oh,
exactly.
Well, then we can
Uh,
screen our calls.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it works really, really well. I mean, when you get the voicemail through your email system, it it gives you a file that you open up to listen to, but it also describes the number that's calling and the person
Okay, that's the same.
before
way
you
it
even
works.
open it.
Works the same way, so.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. One other thing, we are down the home stretch. I was just talking to Counselor Walker about completing everything to do with our new phone system and being able to add the community center. That's the only location I don't have up online. We're gonna do a point-to-point service. Same thing we're gonna do at the gate. Really cool. We're gonna send that signal without wires. Real excited that that's gonna, and Counselor Walker's real versed in it.
He
but
says it's gonna work.
it will work. The problem
We
I've
use
run
them all
into
the
is
time.
VC3 won't let me use my laptop to set it up. You know, they govern, you know, they don't wanna, we don't wanna compromise our security, so my laptop's that way, so we have to need another source, so we're gonna overcome that part. But other than that, it's really gonna work well. We're gonna be able to automate the gate the same way. So, and that project is pretty close too. We've got the poles set, power companies put our line up. All we have to do is put our temporary and, once we point to point, as soon as the gate people get their
Yeah, and we've
materials
already
in.
approved all that. It's just now coming to pass.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
far as the automation of the gate. Another thing that we're going to want to do is put access control at the PHCC, at least on a couple of doors there. Because when you put access control in a building, if you put one panel up, you can control 2 doors. So if you need 3, you need 2 panels. But I say 2 doors at the PHCC and at least 2 doors at the park as well. So I'd like to do that in the future. And then you'll actually be able to control all these things from City Hall.
We can issue a card, a blank card, say to you, and give you access to that building, and then for your pageant, 3 days, 2 days, whatever, a day, and then cut it off. But you can keep the card because you're coming back, and we can activate it again from here, and that way we control that, and it really saves it'll save a lot of legwork. It'll also make sure that he can do it from the phone and open it up in case somebody forgets or we forget to program it, something happens, you know.
Well, for example, somebody comes over there, they're at the rock school. We have it all integrated. And they call over here and say, hey, we're trying to get in. We're like, oh, okay, let me unlock the door for you. Click, click. Go ahead.
As soon as he hits the button, boom, it's done. So it's,
And we'll probably put some more of the Ring doorbells out, like over there in certain places, so that when people come up asking questions, it all comes back to us and we can answer it from the house or whatever. So
the phone system.
technology, man.
Phone system is the same way. We have a phone in the Rock School Center that, we have the numbers. They call the Rock School Center. It immediately goes to an auto attendant. It says, you've reached the Rock School Center, events room. I'm gonna play one for you so you'll hear it.
You have reached the Pinson Rock School Event Center. If you are inquiring about reserving any of the facility's rental spaces, please press 1. If you need to speak with someone at the event center, if someone is available, please press 2.
Until they select to, the phone never rings in there. Same thing at Palmerdale, the same thing at the Pinson Youth Sport Complex.
Reservations, when they hit 1, pushes them right here.
Right
'Cause
back
this
to
is where
City
we're gonna
Hall,
do the
so.
reservations there.
Goes to the front main line, so.
So that means y'all aren't gonna get very many calls about getting those warranties extended.
I don't know. Oh, they find them, don't worry.
Yeah, they will find you.
They find them.
They usually don't push the buttons on those warranty guys. so.
Yeah, I know.
And
Software.
software, yeah, I'm gonna tell you that too, so we don't waste so much time during the,
Yeah.
we are really in a big, learning crunch this month, next month. We probably have about 20, 30 hours of training that we have to go through.
Just this month.
Just this month, yeah. Marie and Heather really got a big crunch of it with the,
Financials.
The chart of accounts.
chart of accounts, right, and it's
That starts.
they're
there.
2 hours at a pop, and I think there's probably about 10 hours, 12 hours of that, just that one section. Most of the stuff that we're training on now is to familiarize us with it. They've made a data dump, or they've uploaded
Extraction. Data
extraction from our, so that they can formulate a practice system for
Module.
us, so that we'll practically put it into play, and then we're with using our what we already have in place, and then with the start of the
September, you go into test mode.
Exactly.
In September, you go into test mode, and everything you do here from a transactional standpoint, you're gonna duplicate it in this system. Learning how to use the system, so when you do go actual live in October, you're ready to go.
So sandbox.
So August and September and October will be busy. But every workstation will have it loaded on it. We're working with VC3 to make sure that all the workstations, and when I say all workstations, that means all the laptops, all the computers that VC3 manages for us will have it.
Even yours.
Even
And-
yours. So
And the reason being, say, for example, you're in your office and you've got a question for Marie. Hey, I was wondering about something, and she needs to log into the system to find the financials to figure it out. She can log in right there. You won't have credentials to log into the system. And mine would be limited to a degree, obviously.
well, you'll be able to see.
Budgets and things
Yeah,
like that.
you'll be able to
Well,
see how
just
the
legally
things are flowing.
speaking, there's only so much that I can touch.
Right.
You know, that I'm authorized to touch. And so everything will be set up partitioned that way. And Eric, there'll be things that Eric has to do when he orders equipment and supplies. He'll be doing POs and things of
Yeah.
that nature. Same thing with Matt, same thing with Allison.
But you'll be able to see all that in progress. You'll be able to see where that money's flowing and whether it's accounted for in the budget, and it all comes back to, it's really it's a very, it's a big
Robust.
learning curve for us, yes, but it's gonna be a wonderful system once we get through so bear with us, if you don't mind, especially the front ladies, I'm sorry, they're gonna be.
Heather and Eric and I are trying to learn we're training on everything so that when it does go live, if anybody has questions, we
Yeah.
hopefully can help.
That's right. Now, the only question for us at the library, Allison, is we need to put the system on your computer, basically. It is a cloud-based system, so double check with your guys and make sure it shouldn't be a problem. And that keeps us from having to buy a laptop to put over there just so you can interface. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be an issue. It doesn't have a draw on the computer system or anything of that nature. That gives you access to do your POs and things like that and view the financial things that you need to view, whatever they may be. I don't know. Again, I try not to get too deep into the minutia of what all they do because I'm not doing it. Allow the experts to do the experts' job.
I think that's everything, right?
Hey, look,
Marie?
when
Is
I
that
point
good?
to you and say, let the expert do the expert's job, you should have a little bit more of a
Not laugh at
confident
that.
look about yourself.
Don't laugh about it.
Yeah, don't laugh about it. But anyway, that's where we are with all of that. Is there anything you guys need to add to the agenda tonight to talk about? I know Matt told me that the goalposts are a little bit behind schedule, supply chain as it is, and once they do come in,
Will they be able to
they'll come
football
out and
season?
take these out and put these in and all that.
Oh, so we have the existing ones we could live.
Yeah, we have the existing ones. We're not dead in the water or anything, but these will be a lot nicer.
I didn't know
ones
if we were
we're
gonna need to go stand up, you know.
I don't think it'd be big enough. Good luck, kid. I'm not standing in front of a kid kicking a football. I'm just gonna tell you now. These are little kids. No,
Especially with your hands above your head.
Hmm?
Especially with your hands above your head.
no, that ain't happening. Not for me, thank you.
Depends on how close that field goal is.
All right, all right.
Did you mention that the city is the sponsor for the movies?
I did not. The city is the sponsor for the movies this week. We'll be cooking hot dogs, chips.
Chips and drinks.
Hot dogs, chips, and drinks that we'll be providing
Oh, okay.
to those that come. I guess Matt and those guys are cooking. Okay. I'm not cooking. No one's asked me to cook.
Wreck It Ralph, that's the Ralph Wrecks the Internet?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Ralph wrecks the internet. I don't know
Wreck-It
what this
Ralph
Ralph
too.
guy's problem is, but he likes to wreck stuff.
Yeah, I understand
It seems like he might be a bit clumsy. I'm not sure.
I've heard that when they've had some serious internet malfunctions, some people, like Amazon goes down and they say, was Ralph involved? So he's gotten a reputation around the world.
Could be indeed. So don't forget to mention that, Glenda, when you talk about movies.
I got it.
One more thing about the phones. The library has that too. They have 4 handsets, 4 phones, two lines, 3 lines, 2 or 3 lines. I can't remember, and they're fax. So in the event I'm sure that any of those librarians can show you how to use that as well because they've had to do the same thing, and that I think they enjoy it. I think they like it. Yeah. So yeah.
The only negative for them is they had wireless phones over there at one time. This doesn't provide that option, but from a user perspective, I think it's much, much better. Much improved. And like I say, I can pick up the phone here and just dial her extension, goes right to her desk from any of the phones deployed within the city, and she can do the same here. You don't have to dial out this number
So
and do that.
we're gonna put we actually have extension numbers that are assigned to us? or-
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna put a list?
Yeah,
extension
I think we have that list, yeah.
Okay.
We can provide one for everybody to have at your desk, or in your case, a
On our
table.
phone.
Yeah, we'll get your desk back to you soon enough.
Yeah. Mine's like a payphone, you know, it's just there on the wall now.
Yeah, we're getting ready to,
Looking for a booth any moment.
getting ready to revamp Chris's office. We'll probably close off one of those doors to make the office more of an office. And probably bring in some new furnishings and stuff, take those furnishings back to where we'll put the deputies in the back where they'll have a space. That's kind of the plan at the moment. All right, you got nothing else to add? Well, I guess we'll come back and be ready to meet here in about 12 minutes. Feel free to mingle.
Okay.
12 minutes is right. Wait a minute, this says it's already raining. I said I was gonna get that number on.
It's already raining.
That's what my
One
watch
thing I
said.
see of note, which is huge
Okay.
printing.
That's
I don't know if it is or not.
okay. It's probably uniforms. I had to guess.
That's what I figured, but since that's the biggest thing on there, I wanted to kind of highlight that and say what it was.
Okay, it's out of order, it looks like. So let me look again.
Well, it was more, you know, so I got to burn.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, it's all. Hello? I can give you one. They were supposed to make you one, but it was kinda late. Yeah. Yeah, they're young. I call them the little girls.
I was gonna say, that's what I call them.
Yeah.
But I wanna tell you, the other day, I was calling little girls. And I was calling somebody, I said it was great. And I said, wait, I'm in my 70s, you are little girls.
That's what I tell them. When Heather and I talk about it, we talk about the little girls. And I pick the little girls to do that. That's what he just did. Yeah.
She's only in her 30s, and I said, well, I got children.
I know. Yeah, you know, some people just,
But, you know, I told her, I said, I'm an old man, and I said, I'm
You're a
glad
little
I
girl to
lived.
me.
You know what? And I said, you are a little girl to me. And I said, I'm glad I lived this long.
that's the truth.
I mean, but I said, I got children older than me.
Yeah, so you're a little girl.
She told me she was professional. I said, I realize that.
Good for you.
Little
Yeah,
girls, they mean,
yeah.
because that's how I describe it. And they're young like that, I mean,
Yes.
30s, late 30s, stuff like that. I kind of describe them as a little girl or a
Right,
little boy.
right.
Because, I mean,
That's what they are to us, right?
yeah, but I don't know how you are, but
I'll be 62 next month.
I'm still young.
I know, so see, you can call me a little girl.
Yeah, I'm not old enough to be your father.
No, I know. That's what I say.
I'll be 71 and, I'll be 19.
Okay.
And that's what I tell them. I said, man, I got kids 50 years old.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of depressing when you think about that too, isn't it?
And I was just telling you, you're getting old.
I know.
You know, Luke, you know, it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody now, I said, in my mom's dreams, I'm in my life, I do, in my 70s, have a preschool. And I said, I do have a preschool. And Luke, Luke don't know this, Luke doesn't know anything about it. And I keep telling him, I said, Daddy can't keep doing, you know, some of this stuff, because he's,
David, they like here.
you know, because he's into doing and kissing. He's got a bad habit, he wants, well, it ain't bad habit, he's been doing it for years and years and years. He wants me to lean over like this. I tell him, Daddy can't keep leaning over, Daddy can't keep leaning over. Daddy's gonna fall.
I hear you. Not as limber as we used to be. Not as limber as we used to be.
No, because I said, I used to could do that, but I
Yeah.
can't do it now.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Maria. I mean, I don't know, like, I'm used to wearing them all the time. I'm gonna.
Margaret's going to be in I talked to Scott, and Scott said no, and I haven't called him back yet. Well, we both picked up Iron Man,
Because Bob Jones is still here.
and Scott actually bumped up my pay for the Iron Man. The reason I wanted to share it, so I can see it. I need to actually call them. I'm like, what are we doing? Just the freelance. Break the news.
No, he said so.
Margaret's right there by Argo, and it's like, one of the customers comes to some Margaret meetings.
They seem to be pretty good. These coaches up there, last year was their first one, or this season, past season, was their first season there, so.
You're welcome. Hi, Joy.
But Jordan knew him because they used to be in college, in Florida. Rollins. They've been looking to get back up north, and that opportunity came up, so that's where they went.
Yes, because I'm just.
They're pretty good, that's how they,
That's all I was gonna ask. Good. Well, she ain't
oh, no.
I heard,
I would rather watch softball, baseball's so slow. Yeah, 1.7, 2.8 seconds on the first. So, pretty quick. Not the fastest, but she's up there.
Now, when we did the consecutive, they was
Texas plays outfield.
before they came in, they was one of the girls.
You didn't have to have a patient number or a record number on here? Question mark?
Is it adding the, it won't make the chin or 24
Okay.
months? Like it will stay under Jefferson County for 24 months?
I've seen her thing.
Or is it already extended? Or what's it extending the time for?
She is.
It's extending the time because they need
It's different on slow pitch.
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah, it's very different.
So does that mean it's staying classified as the
Lots of them
January
girls
1st?
is on Randy's, play for Randy when he was coaching. They get up there and they'd strike at that ball and then miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, our travel organization, we're actually putting together.
They are.
Some, I guess, basically calling them exhibition games, against community colleges. And NAIA teams, the I Foundation, they get several play dates in the fall. We're trying to set it up. There's one play at, double A. Our goal is to follow that play. They're all trying
Well, they left.
Man, it's cold
Find
in here.
anything on there.
We still got it for suit weather. We have to start
Is it
bringing my
raining
jacket. It's just started.
It did. I thought
yeah.
I heard you say that.
Yeah, well, that's why I told y'all I was gonna get this umbrella, because I didn't wanna.
Well, your friends left.
Oh, yeah, we saw them out, we saw them outside. Well, one of them came back in, and brought Joe back in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just-
Oh, him. Wonder what they wanted.
I've seen you, how you doing?
Leo Dolan was here last week, I asked, or 2 weeks ago, I asked him what the scoop was. He was trying, yeah, he,
My son, he had plumbing problems and me and him.
and he called you?
Yeah.
Did you tell him that wasn't your forte,
No,
or did you
it
do a little
wasn't
plumbing on the
his- It wasn't
side?
his either, so.
Oh, okay.
We finally did get it. How you doing, Joe?
All right, man, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. I hear you got COVID,
I did. I went out of town and I came right back only to have that, so.
Out of the country.
Ronnie,
Yeah, I caught it out of there.
Ronnie Dixon got COVID.
All right, guys,
Oh,
it's
really?
He's
time.
supposed to come back today.
Okay.
Really?
How bad was it?
Fine, how are you?
Hey,
Good to see you.
Is he okay?
hey, see you
Ronnie
later.
okay?
Okay.
Ronnie okay? He said, yeah, cool. Somebody was
I haven't heard. I reached out to him the other day, but hadn't heard back.
I said, was that you? Because I smell smoke.
Smoke?
I said, I smell smoky. I said, was that you?
Smoke?
Get a bigger.
Yeah, I do go by my plate and I just turn my head and start walking off somewhere.
All right, you guys ready? You ready, Eric? I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Pinson City Council, August 4th, 2022. Got to do the gavel. It's just part of the deal. If you would, stand with me for the invocation by Counselor Roberts and remain standing for the pledge by Counselor Walker.
Let's pray. Father, we again thank you so much for this evening. We thank you for the many opportunities that you've given us here. Father, we thank you for the rain that you have given us. Father, we just ask that you would protect us, though, as the lightning looks like it may be coming in. Father, we ask again, as always, for your wisdom tonight, your guidance. Again, we thank you so much for your many blessings. We just ask that you would be with each person here. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Everyone may be seated. Madam Clerk, if we could have a roll call, please.
Counselor Irvin, Counselor Walker,
Here.
Counselor Roberts.
Here.
Counselor Churchwell,
Here.
Counselor Kirkland,
Here?
Mayor Cochran.
Here. All right, Counselor Roberts.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes from July the 31st meeting, as well as approve them as written.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. I'm gonna give that one to Walker.
That was a tie.
It was a
You can have it, you can have it, Brad.
Well, the good news is,
I don't know if
as
that's legal.
George W. would say, I'm the decider.
That's right, you are.
All right, have a motion and a second. Anything to highlight here tonight that you have seen? I know we're paying the supplement for our high school principal out of this group. It should be in this list as well. And that is for a year for Mr. Turner, and money well spent. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect, we shall pay the bills. Coming down to enhancements, going to talk about farmer's market will be open tomorrow, 2 to 6.
That was minutes.
Yes, I started saying, it would just got a little confusing.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry. You're right. I did the minutes and I got ahead of myself. Counselor Walker, if you would. I'm getting ahead.
so the previous vote was for the minutes?
It was.
Yes.
Okay, all right, we'll go.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $60,908.88.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
You do.
And I got ahead of myself, so I've already informed everybody on that. So
Well, I was trying to figure out, I thought, wait a minute, I don't remember having that in most minutes I reviewed. That'll be next time.
Understand, my friend. All right, any questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let the record reflect, the ayes carry. And now we can go to enhancements, talking about the farmer's market from 2 to 6 tomorrow. Don't miss out, lots of great fresh vegetables, candles, coffee from Barking Bee, and many other vendors over there. Always a great time. The Centennial Celebration is coming up. Allison, would you like to come up and speak to that, since you're so involved? That's coming up at the Rock School on August 13th from 10 till 4. Everyone in the public is invited. We will be having it in conjunction with the Rock School reunion that they have annually. So,
Mr. Mayor, before she speaks, is it appropriate for us to comment on any products that we might have gotten over at the farmer's market? Because I happened to have an encounter over there that was quite pleasant, and I just thought I'd mention it, but I
absolutely.
wasn't sure if it was
was
appropriate to
gonna say-
actually voice on a private industry.
it is appropriate to voice on the private industry. What you got?
I was introduced to a key lime cooler is the thing over there from our friends at the Barking Bee, which I think you first introduced me to. And if you like key lime pie, I can say that I highly recommend going over and getting one of those. A friend of mine got me the first one, and now I've turned it into a habit. So it is a liquid key lime pie is the best way to describe this.
It is.
item.
It's
So-
fabulous. I agree. I've had it, as well as their iced coffee and everything else they offer down on Main Street, one of our local businesses, and we appreciate Barking Bee. They're becoming
If
much
any
more
other
popular.
vendors in town would like to offer, another type of pie flavored drink, I'll be more than happy to go sample it and give them a promotion too.
Totally appropriate.
Yes, so back to the Centennial Celebration. It is on the 13th. We're going to have a variety of activities for all ages. So we have our usual reunion crew who is coming in to have all of their fun. But in addition, if you were not a student or have any family members at the Rock School, you absolutely should come celebrate what is, most consider the heart of our community. That building. We're going to have a play area for kids. We're also going to have a coloring competition. We will have a school store where everything's a penny. We're going to go back to 1922 and have a penny school store, so you can come spend your pennies in the school store to get any supplies that you might need for the upcoming school year. We will also have trivia and lots of historical presentations from the Pinson Historical Society. They've been working very hard to put together an honor place for the families who contributed either monetarily or building supplies or their skills to the actual building of the construction of the school. They're going to have a place to honor those folks as well as their usual really neat historical displays. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. We're going to have Tom Bailey there. We'll be there with the newest edition of his book, Pinson Bicentennial History. So we're very excited to have that back in in circulation and publication because it's been very hotly sought after. If you try to buy one on Amazon or eBay, it's $200, $300 a book. So we're very happy that I have that back. It's just going to be a fun, awesome day. And you don't have to come and stay all day. The 10 to 4, I mean, you can if you want to, absolutely. But it's very much a come and go kind of thing. Come experience everything, have fun, stop by when you can, because I know there's lots of other things going on around town that day, and it's close to when school starts back. But it's going to be a blast. We're really excited.
And my assumption is most of council will be there that day. We have other things to attend as well.
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
Is there an age limit on the coloring competition? Because I've been working really hard on staying in the lines.
Absolutely
I'm gonna go
not.
and proclaim Brad Walker is disqualified from the coloring competition.
Just see me. I'll get you a color.
You're out, Brad.
It's all going it.
All right, and outside of that, everything, the wonderful, wrapped up your summer reading recently.
Yes. I actually do have a handout with some stats. Do you want me to go into that now, or do you want me to circle back at the
Might
end?
as well go ahead and go into it now.
Okay, let me grab that real quick. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, the guys at our staff is not as big as some libraries, but man, they put on great summer reading program and activities for the kids. It's amazing what they do for the budget that we have.
I want y'all to know that the prizes they have over there, or they had over there this year for reading, were fabulous. I mean, I was shocked. I mean, they were giving away new books and nice magnetic bookmarks and DVDs and all kinds of cool stuff. So once word got out about those prizes, everybody started reading a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some really cool prizes this year. We just wrapped up our summer reading program Friday. Friday was our last event. We started on the June 4th. So I have a handout with you, but I'll just kind of go over it really quick. We had 607 registered participants in our program. That is a decrease from last year, but I think more people were probably traveling this year, vacations and things. But we did see a huge increase in our rewards that we gave out, those rewards for reading, 2,109 of those. We also saw an increase of the amount of books read for June and July. 5,518 books were read that belong to the library. That's not counting what people read at home, books of their own collection to participate in the program. And our event attendance, 2,949 people attended events or picked up craft kits in the library. That is a slight decrease over last year, but remember last year we did mostly all craft kits. And those were, 400 people a week were picking those up. So we had a lot more, most of our programs were in person this time, so we had a lot more in-person attendance this year. It was very successful in my mind. This was our first year, the full year, to have a dedicated youth services specialist since I was no longer in that position after I was promoted to director. Rihanna, she organized this whole thing, carried all, I would say 95% of the program out. She did a wonderful job. It was much easier on me to not have to do admin responsibilities as well as run an entire summer reading program. So I'm very proud of her and the work that her department did, the youth department, with this summer. And then we had a lot of pleased, not just kids, but teens and adults and everybody in between.
Well, like I say, I've had the occasion to see some of the events, and I've blown away at what you guys do. With the budget you have, couldn't ask for more.
Yeah,
You guys have any comments?
No, I've grown up in the library. Spent a lot of time in the Fultondale Library growing up with my aunt, and I do appreciate what you guys do. It's very important. In fact, I just bought 2 books to read for work this week, so I encourage everybody to get to the library and read. Nothing better.
Yeah, we're thankful for our community partnerships that we have. We had an event at Turkey Creek Nature Preserve. We had several events with Parks and Rec at the Bicentennial Park. So we're very lucky to be in such a generous environment where everyone can help everybody and everybody can work together to the betterment of our community. So we're very excited about that as well.
And you had buy-in from, our local businesses and stuff also?
Yes, yes, we do have sponsors for the program. We had several sponsors all throughout the summer, and we're thankful to them. They help us a lot with the prizes, with purchasing prizes and those kinds of things. So yeah, it was great.
Fantastic. Anything else, guys? Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Also, on the 13th, the First Baptist Church of Pinson Daycare and Kindergarten celebrates their 50th anniversary at Bicentennial Park from 12 to 3. We have been asked, as a council, we have a proclamation for them, and they've asked us to present that at 12:30. So if you guys could plan to be there at 12:30, then we can come back to the Rock School, you know, back and forth, whatever we want to do. But that's the plan. So as many people on council that can attend would be very much appreciated. And then that evening from 5 to 8, they have a back-to-school bash, also by First Baptist at Bicentennial. And don't let me forget, one thing I forgot to mention is this Saturday, they have the Meet the Indians starting at 3 o'clock at the high school. And that's your opportunity to go visit with the high school players, get autographs, meet Zach Cunningham. He will be there in attendance. You guys may or may not know, Zach is the only player in Pinson Valley history to go on to an NFL career. He currently plays for the Tennessee Titans. He will be in attendance, and the occasion of that is to celebrate him, his career here at Pinson Valley, and to retire his jersey, which will be the very first retired jersey in the history of Pinson Valley that I'm aware of. So anybody that can attend that would be appreciated as well. All right.
What was that time?
That starts at 3. And our youth program will be attending that as well. Several of our youth program football teams will be recognized. The marching chiefs will be there in attendance performing as well. So it's a nice introduction to the season. It's a little bit earlier than they wanted to do it, but they're working it around the bicentennial celebration, or the centennial celebration, so that pushed them a week earlier than they wanted. But I'm glad that Zachary's able to come into town. Look forward to, haven't seen him in about 3 or 4 years, so look forward to seeing him. He's got a beard now, in case you haven't seen him recently. A really big beard. He plays in Tennessee. I guess he's trying to look like a mountain man. I don't know.
Got to fit in.
Got to fit in. All right.
He has done very well in the NFL. especially
All right.
with
And
contract.
movies in the park this Friday night. Glenda?
Yes, this Friday night, we're having the Wreck-It Ralph #2. I've seen that once before. I'd love to see it again. It's a great movie. And the city is going to sponsor the movie in the park this weekend, and we're serving hot dogs, chips, and drinks. So we encourage everyone to come out and enjoy and watch Wreck-It Ralph.
So what you're saying is if people come out tomorrow night to see the movie, not only do they see a movie, they get to eat a free meal.
That's right,
But
free meal.
I challenge you to beat that deal. Find somewhere around town that you can get a better deal than that.
Those are good hot dogs.
Well, we do have a standard that we require on our.
I know.
Cannot be the cheap ones. It's got to be good hot dogs. Give to the people. All right, and then we've got trade days as well.
Yes, and Saturday is our trade days day on Saturday from 9 to 2. And we would love for everyone to come out to the trade days and support the vendors and have a good time. And hopefully we'll have some cool weather and everyone can just have meet and greet and enjoy yourself.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on. We got planning and zoning. I'd like to open a public hearing regarding the zoning classification change at 6984 and 6985 Joy Circle. Open that public hearing now. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak to that? All right, seeing none, I'll close that public hearing. And I would also now like to open a public hearing regarding a public nuisance related to overgrown grass and weeds at 4109 Powell Avenue. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to that public hearing? Seeing none, I will close that public hearing. Everybody on the council has a packet with photographs of the incident. This is the second time this season we've dealt with that particular property. All right, so moving on, Counselor Roberts.
Yes, in light of the conversation we just had regarding Joy Circle, I would like to, if I can find this right here, I would like for us to offer an ordinance 22-14, if accepted, to change the zoning classification at 6984 Joy Circle and 6985 Joy Circle to the residential medium density classification.
Yeah, all right, we have an offer on the table. Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call for unanimous consent?
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell?
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland?
Yes.
Mayor Cochran?
Yes. Unanimous consent passes, and again, this is just changing it from its zoning that it had with the county into the zoning that belongs with the city after annexing a property. Any questions or comments, guys? All right, roll call vote on the main ordinance.
You need a second. I did not hear a second on this.
Did we-
I'll second, but
I thought we did have a second.
Okay.
Just in case.
somebody else second?
I thought we did, but in case, do we have a second on that ordinance?
You can have one now.
Well, you offered it.
You offered it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I spoke so long, I forgot.
You can't offer and second, just,
Well, I'm very opinionated.
that's why we pay her the big bucks, keep us straight. So you got your second now?
Yeah, got our second.
All right, roll call vote on the main ordinance.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell?
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland?
Yes.
Mayor Cochran?
Yes, and that passes as ordinance number 2022-14. And thank you, clerk, for keeping us straight, as usual. All right, and we also have another ordinance, Counselor Roberts.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we accept another ordinance proposed, would be 2022-15, which would allow us to change the zoning classification, again, of real estate located in the city of Pinson. What we'd like to do is extend a revisionary action for an additional 24 months until January the 1st, 2025, on some specific property. I believe it's at 7,07970 Highway 75.
All right, I have an offer. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, offer and a second. Again, this is just extending the deadline by which they have to break ground, because as anything would be dealing with government, sometimes things take a little longer, and we just want to make sure they have the appropriate time they need to deal with it.
We have some really nice language in here where it says to allow an additional 24 months to allow the applicants sufficient time to navigate through the federal and state, I think we should change to requirements for funding of the elder living facility. That is a really nice way to say lots of red tape and they need extra time.
That is a very nice way to say it. Although we attempt to move at the speed of light, we're also slow too. Not nearly as much as those guys, but we cannot move as fast as I want to a lot of times. All right, I had an offer and a second. Roll call for unanimous consent.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell?
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland?
Yes.
Mayor Cochran?
Yes, a unanimous consent passes. Any questions or comments, guys?
We should, Madam Clerk, we can make that slight edit
Yes.
there. Okay, all right.
All right, and a roll call vote for the main ordinance.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell?
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland?
Yes.
Mayor Cochran?
Yes, and that passes as ordinance number 2022-15. Counselor Kirkland on the resolution.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution regarding a public nuisance relating to overgrown grass and weeds located at 4109 Powell Avenue.
I have an offer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Sound like you got it, John? Okay. Offer and a second. Any questions or comments on the resolution?
Well,
Roll
we gotta
call.
get these mowings under control is what I say.
Yeah, like I've told people, they think we're playing. Well, we're not. Eric and his boys will get out there and take care of it. Roll call vote on the resolution.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell?
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland?
Yes.
Mayor Cochran?
Yes, and that passes as resolution 22-26. Moving on, we have a bid opening tomorrow for the new truck that we're trying to buy for Public Works. That'll be at 2 o'clock. If anyone wants to attend, you're welcome to. We'll open it right here in the front office, so anyone that would like to be there can be there. We've received our second tranche of, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Tranche, language that nobody knew until a year ago. A tranche of American Rescue Fund money. This is our second installment, basically, and it's $844,868.99. You know, if I worked for the federal government, I might have rounded that up, not had the 99 cents, but that's me.
I agree.
But that has been.
Probably cost them $100 extra to make it 99 cents instead of 2 zeros.
It could have been. But that money, as the money that came before it, this council will see to it that is spent wisely and useful for the community. Also, we have a shred-a-thon coming up Saturday here on the grounds at City Hall from 9 till noon. There is no limit to how much you can bring to be shredded. The only limit you run into is when the trucks get full. So bring whatever you need to have shredded. They prefer that you take out gym clips and staples and things like that if you can. Make it as clean as possible, but everybody come on down for that. We've had it on our board for about 3 or 4 weeks and been advertising it through our social media and our website.
Yeah, you can drop that off on your way to trade days.
You can drop that off on your way to
Well,
trade
yeah,
days.
Brad, you're right.
Go down and see a hot rod at the cruise in, get a hot dog, buy a old radio or whatever, you know, lots of
Right.
stuff.
Perhaps get one of those key lime drinks.
And yeah, as a matter of fact, you will be able to get one of those key lime drinks because Bark and Bee Coffee is right in the middle of trade days on Main Street. All right, Counselor Walker, moving on to new business on an increase in pay for the Pilates class instructor.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we increase from $25 to $50 per session to pay for our Pilates classes.
All right, have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, really by Roberts. It was kind of quiet down there.
Sound travels.
But I would say it was an emphatic second. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect, we will increase that on the next invoice. I will let her know.
We mentioned in the pre-council that the sessions are being heavily attended, and so it's only appropriate with the large crowds they have over there to adjust the pay.
It is, and that's what we hoped for when we started those classes. We now have Zumba classes as well. And so just offering exercise classes and physical fitness to the public at no charge, there's an awful lot of people that maybe can't afford a gym membership. And this gives them an opportunity to go over. You don't even have to own any equipment. They have it all there. And come get you some physical fitness. I have not attended the classes myself. I'm probably not a Pilates kind of guy. But maybe I need to start. You know, as a matter of fact, my physical therapist said, that's not a bad idea. I said, well, that's almost like telling me to go to the class. So I may attend a future class.
If you want to turn that into a social media event, I'm sure it will be heavily watched.
No, we will not turn that into a social media event. If anybody comes in with a camera phone, they will be taken.
Escorted out. Okay.
That's right. There'll be no
was
video
my next-
evidence of any of that going on.
That was my next question.
And the last thing we have on tonight is just a discussion about the PHCC basically ceasing to operate the building in Palmerdale and turning that over to the city to operate. The guys have come to us, they've given us written notification, we've accepted that, we've sat down and met and talked about what they've got in the pipe. We're gonna honor all that this year. We may revamp some things next year, but we're not gonna bother with that. At the next meeting, we'll have an agreement that Councilor Black will set up for us that allows me to rent the facility, if you will. We don't have to have it this meeting, but at the next meeting. We will take it over on September 1st. There's been lots of improvements in the building, lots of things that these guys really wanted to see done. And I think one of the biggest deals was some of the stuff we did you didn't even ask for because, well, I wanted, improving an entranceway and things of that nature. But getting that parking lot paved, I think it was important to you guys to see that done before you handed it over. And the work you guys have done over all these many years, and like we said, that all started back many years ago. Phil Sims, Patsy Shellnut, Grant Mitchell, and Doyle and Terry, and many other people that were instrumental in saving that building and making it work. We entered into a contract many years ago to lease the building for 100 years from the Board of Education, and then we turned around and sublet it to you guys. It's not going to be an additional burden financially to us because we already assume most of the burden of the utilities and upkeep and things of that nature. But to say it's taken an effort on your part and the amount of hours that you guys have given and the people that came before you, to say thank you is not even enough at all. And so I appreciate everything y'all have done. I know sometimes when we speak, it doesn't seem like I do, but I promise you I do. And I know all the guys on the council do.
Yes, we do.
Like I say, I remember the very beginning, and some people may or may not remember, but the original Butterbean Festival, when it got started, was put on by the PHCC. They started the Butterbean Festival, and they had a Miss Butterbean pageant. As a matter of fact, and I don't know if you realize this, but I'm the reigning Mr. Butterbean. They have not crowned one since I became Mr. Butterbean, so therefore, I go on forever as Mr. Butterbean. There is not a picture of me with a crown, though.
Well, we're gonna have
But
to fix that.
I never got my cape and my crown and saber or anything from Hoyt on that, but I think he likes it. I don't know. But the amount of good that festival has done and that the PHCC has done in our community, it can only be measured in heart. And the people that don't know, I hate it for them, but the people that do know, they all appreciate everything you've done. Guys, anything y'all want to say?
Well, if I'd have known that that paving thing was gonna run y'all off, I'd have drug that out for another few years.
It's already in the works before. That was good.
Well, we had, Eric and I went through the building the other day just to assess some things, and then we sat down and had a meeting with you guys about what you had going on, not only with upcoming events, but also with building repairs and things that need to be done. And I asked y'all some historical questions to make sure that we don't want to step on any toes. Somebody asked about the quilting room. The quilting room will remain the quilting room. We're not, have no plans whatsoever of changing that. We do plan on down the line to maybe have more events there, like what we've done with the Rock School Center in complex over there. We're trying to increase the amount it's used. I mean, we're paying utility bills and things, and the public needs to know these facilities are there. So birthday parties and things of that nature may see an increase in that next year. We'll see. It's a very nice facility, and we had a couple of parties up there recently. And I don't know if I ever gave you the feedback from those guys that held their parties there. They loved it. They're like, man, this is a great place to have it. And especially since we've done the parking lot, it's gonna make it even better. Anybody else, guys?
No, I
John?
just say, I think they have done a tremendous job up there. It's made them look good, made us look good, and a lot of people have enjoyed being there. And I know some of you were talking about having a couple events, here a while back, and somebody had to go up there and have their events, and I was told later that they were glad they were sent up there. So it's just one of those things.
They were a little mad at me at first because it was my fault, really. But when it was all said and done, they were very happy.
Right.
They said, well, we're glad you messed up because we like this facility. But we're getting a lot better about our booking. We're going to centralize booking for pretty much everything in the city. By January, everything will get booked here in our front office, and make it simpler for people to know where to go to get things done. And we have phone systems in place that are directing that now. There's a lot of changes, but a lot of positive changes. With that being said, I don't think council has anything else to add, but we don't hear from Shane Black enough.
You don't?
Now, realize this, that Shane is an attorney, and it's a great thing. It's a noble profession, usually. As my wife's boss says, as long as they're back in their coffins by sunup, they're okay. I don't say that. I'm quoting someone else. My daughter is also an attorney. But we appreciate we've given you a lot of work to do with the PHCC stuff, agreements and all that stuff. But do you have any updates for us that we need to know about from a council perspective?
No, sir, I would just repeat kind of what we talked about in the pre-council work session. We'll get together some documents, agreements. I see here I've got the PHCC rental guidelines that they've had in place up there. So I'll look at those, may make a revision, Marie, to that draft ordinance based on this, and then we'll begin to work through the agreements. So y'all have a document you can put into place to honor the existing obligations of things that are reserved.
Right, and what they have booked to the end of the year, my plan is to honor it as it's booked, as the price scale as it's booked. We may change some things around after this year, but for now, we're gonna honor everything that's already out there. There's no point in stepping on any toes.
And I would say too, Mayor, it may give you an opportunity too to standardize the forms that you're using for all of the city's rental facilities.
Indeed.
The park, Old Community Center, the Rock School, as well as this. So this may be an opportunity to kind of standardize some of them. I know that specific buildings and sites have some specific rules depending on, but this may give you at least the opportunity to have some sort of a master format that you can use everywhere.
And we're gonna count on you for that.
Well, we could do that, yes, sir.
We realize we pay you by the minute, I believe.
It's by the word also, so we better cut him off.
A lot of people don't know that. When you call your attorney, you're on the clock. That's just the way it works. The same way with your accountants. You call your accountants, you're on the clock.
I once worked with a city councilman somewhere. Every time he would ask me a question, I'd start talking, he'd say, tick-tock, tick-tock.
It's fantastic.
Has he fast forwarded you on?
Take out the stopwatch.
Well, and again, I reiterate to the public that there's a lot of things we may disagree about here and there, but we also like to have an enjoyable time in our meetings. We like to laugh and we like to cut up. There's nothing wrong with that. And Shane, you've given us a lot to laugh about.
Oh, my. Hey, I will say this.
I appear
too.
every 2 times, folks. Every 2 weeks, same time, same place.
I was not going to say this obviously during the meeting, but now that it's a little loose, I would say when I opened up the packet and I started looking at these photos, at first I thought that was some sort of nature photography that was in your packet instead of this nuisance property with the overgrown weeds. I mean, if you look at that in black and white, I mean, doesn't that look kind of, it looks like nature photography. Yeah, in the black and white, it really looks like a print or something. So. But it needs to be cut, at any rate.
We'll let you take that with you.
Thanks.
Now that the hearing is closed, it's impossible for them to come back and use that as an argument.
Well, I mean,
have
I
our
was
own little
thinking,
nature
I was
preserve.
thinking open prairie in Wyoming or something.
Yeah.
And I say, well, we already have one nature preserve. We don't need another one. We're good. But I appreciate that. Anything else you guys like to bring to the table tonight before we go to public comment?
I just wanted to say, we didn't mention the time for the movie in the park, but it's whenever it starts getting dark. So just come and start and eat your hot dogs and enjoy yourself. And as soon as it gets dark, the movie will start.
Yeah, start gathering around 6:45 or 7. That gives you time to get your hot dogs and et cetera. And visit with people. Enjoy your neighbors.
That's right.
We don't do enough of that. Let's do more of it. All right, anything else, guys? All right, and now we'll go to public comment. It looks like we may have one person here that wants to come up and speak in public comment. There may be others, but sometimes you just know. And when you get to the mic, if you would, state your name, address, what office you're seeking, what have you.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Sledge. My address is 1937 4th Street Northeast, Center Point, Alabama 35215. I am the new person at Alabama Power for Community Relations, so I'm your point of contact. So I just wanted to come and show my face. I met Mayor Cochran at the Clay and Pinson Chamber of Commerce a few weeks ago. So I wanted to come and speak with you all and just show you who I am, let you know who I am, give you my contact information, and just let you know that if you need me for anything, I'm just a phone call away.
We appreciate it. We do have a really good relationship with Alabama Power. Called on them about our lights over at Bicentennial, and they got a system installed that allows us to dim those for movies in the park. You guys are very helpful to all the municipalities, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Y'all got any complaints? Because
Nope,
now, she's
none.
the government representative, so
Oh,
if it's a problem on your street, don't hit her with that. Guys, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
and I have
Anybody else?
One other thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And Eric, this may be to you, on, Miles Spring Road, as you come around that first big curve, I think that's some mobile, power lines, mobile lines hanging down. If my husband hooks the motorhome rearview mirror on that one day, we're gonna drag it all the way and everybody's gonna be screaming because they won't have service. So, do I need to call the, who do we need to, do I need to call
Is
the?
it data line?
It's,
Communication line.
So it could be, probably Charter Cable,
It's
AT&T.
You're not wrong.
I've contacted them twice, Barry's, talked to them one time.
Well, technically you're out of order, but I hear you. I'm not gonna make you get up. It's okay.
Technical issues, so.
Yeah. Technically, we're dealing with technical issues. And sometimes AT&T is not as easy to deal with as Alabama Power. I understand that.
I
They-
know.
They haven't sent a nice rep like the power.
And if the line does get ripped out, they would assuredly come fix it then.
Oh, yes.
I'm not saying to hook anything, I'm not
It's
making
awesome.
any
Just
suggestions.
veer a little as you go by and. Yeah. No, I mean into it.
The garbage truck.
We're not making any suggestions to.
All right, now
destroy
that,
anything.
now the attorney needs to interject.
Thank you, Shane. But we'll look into it. Eric and I can ride up there. I've got a couple of streets we need to look at tomorrow. If you've got time, Eric, ride around in the morning and look at a couple of streets that need some repair work. Wanted to get your input on that up in Innsbrook. Some of it off the parkway where the new construction doesn't interfere with Gordon and getting some of this stuff fixed, but we'll look at it. All right, anything else, guys?
I'll wait till next time.
Okay. He's a little bit camera shy over here. Okay.
Not really.
Microphone shut.
Don't be microphone shy. The microphone is your friend. It lets more people hear you. All right. All right, well, we've got no more people for public comment, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, let the record reflect, the ayes carried. We are here.